Starting with yeah. So I think Wise is not here. He was supposed to be because we are reading his work. Maybe he's shy. Who knows? But let's see. He seems like a guy who knows his work. He who knows what he's doing. And so, as you guys know, from the pages of childhood was an event which was dedicated towards nostalgia, right? Specifically, of we were talking about the springtime of our life, right? And let's go ahead with what Wise has written, and maybe we can try and imagine the words, feel them, and we will definitely talk about them later. Okay. So, yeah, a nostalgic letter to my lost friends by Wise Dev. I don't know if we should call him Wise Dev or Wise Dev, so I'll just call him Dev. I lifted my pen on a lonely night. I had a lot on my chest, thus I began to write. Dear X and dear Y, I hope you are alright. Please listen to me as I narrate with delight. Some years that seem so close, yet are so far. The vault of memories is now ajar. I wonder if we'll ever experience something on par with the adventures we had under that sky filled with stars. Remember that time we went on a trip to the hillsides and the village on the mountain edge? Ice apples and tender coconuts. Come, take a sip, called out the villager, sitting on his ledge. Remember that time when we climbed a hill? We all just pulled through on pure sheer will. The feeling when we touched the summit tree, we were filled with joy and an overflowing glee. Remember the handmade chocolate we ate in the valley, filled with the market buzz and stalls on display. Navigating the small and winding alley, mischievously bantering about where to go and play. Remember that time when the birds sat on my head, pecking your cheek with love, making you go red, feeding them with coarse grains and crumbs of bread. Oh, all the emotions can't be just said. Through the though the trip wasn't long and is now in the past. Even as time goes on and things move so fast, the memories we made will surely last. Thank you for listening to me explain all that my heart had been yearning to share. Dear X and dear Y, I hope we'll meet again. Until then, stay safe and please take care. Made with love by Wise Dev. That was so sweet. That was really sweet. Right, guys?
Yeah, the chronologies he follows,
Right.
and the wordplay he is choose to give the emotions in this poem
Mm-hmm.
exactly matches with the mountain vibe, the person or child living in the mountain,
Mm.
and especially to those areas where mountain have very few shops,
Right.
and even that in the childhood that he see shop have some lights and flickering lights or some billboards,
Right.
and then the whole countryside is something to remember with the beauty of nature, every chips of the bird, every fall of the leaf.
Right.
That was
Right.
beautiful.
Absolutely. 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 I'm glad actually that Abhinit compared it with a hilly or a mountain area. That's a really nice observation, Abhinit. That's a really nice observation. Wise is here.
I just because
Huh.
all those things I have seen and felt
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
exactly same when I was in the Nainital for my schooling of around 6 to 8.
Okay,
3 years.
okay. You have spent 3 years in Nainital.
Yeah.
Okay, 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 okay. Nice, nice. I can see that Wise has joined back, and yeah, definitely switch to Linux. Oh, Chota Himanshu has joined, and he is cranky. Definitely, he's saying someone forgot to call me. I'm really sorry, brother. Mm, I came to the session running. I was just getting done with my dinner, and this I came running, and I'm really sorry. Next time, पक्का पक्का मेरे दिमाग से निकल गया क्योंकि यूजुअली कॉल नहीं करना पड़ता राइट तो मेरे दिमाग से निकल गया लास्ट अगली बार आई रिमेम्बर तो आदत पड़ जाएगी चलो thank you. Abhinit made some great comments. Wise, would you like to say something if you can turn your mic on, or probably you can use the chat box as well? If if first of all, if we did justice to your work, the way we have read it, if we have missed some particular thing the way you thought it should be read, do make it clear, okay, brother? And would you like to elaborate on, what are you exactly? We got to know our own interpretations of what you were describing, right? Because Abhineet made a very good comment about, you know, his relationship with the mountains and hills, and he could relate to it, right? He could relate to his own childhood. Now, I mean, he could relate the poem to his own childhood. So, we would like to know from you what was going on in your head when you were writing it. I guess you are not willing to turn the mic on, so we can patiently wait for your response in the chat box. Meanwhile, others who would like to turn their mic on. Adarsh, maybe you can start. Would you like to go ahead?
क्वेश्चन क्या था?
Like so उसने जो तो वाइज ने जो लिखा है द थिंग दैट वाइज हैज रिटन तो जैसे अभिनीत ने कहा कि ये सुनने के बाद जैसे दीज लाइंस आर हियर राइट कि like remember the time when we went to a trip to the hillside and the village on mountain edge जहाँ पे उनको एक नारियल वाला मिला जिसने उनको बोला कि हाँ भाई नारियल पानी पी के जाओ and all and then when they climbed a hill out of pure sheer will right मतलब थक 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 के कैसे भी उन्होंने चढ़ाई की and everything then he talks about handmade chocolate and चिड़िया का उसके सर पे बैठना and everything and the best part is and I'm really sorry I would definitely come to you others the best part is the starting and the ending right they sort of form a close circle so yeah others what do you think about
हम्म, क्या बीच का मैं ध्यान भटक गया और कहीं कहीं जोन आउट हुआ इसलिए एग्जैक्ट मालूम नहीं
it?
लेकिन
Okay, okay.
जितना वो देख पा रहा हूँ कि ऑब्जर्वेशन स्किल अच्छा है कि
Mm-hmm.
छोटे छोटे चीज़ों को ध्यान दे के उसके बारे में लिख पाया है ना.
Right, right. अब वो भी अच्छे तरीके से लिखना राइट आई
हाँ
मीन
हाँ.
है ना I think this is what talent is. I mean, all of us can observe things to some extent, and all of us can have thoughts in our head. Ki, acha, we can describe this particular situation in this particular way. But when we try to pen it down, it might not be a very
वही वही वो पेज पूरा ब्लैंक हो जाता है.
right. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I think that is there. So we can again, probably we can again read the poem, okay? Because it was a very sweet poem and it goes like this. I lifted my pen. Just a second, guys. Just a second. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, so because it was such a sweet thing, and since it is short, I guess we definitely owe to read it again. So the title, as you can see, a nostalgic letter to my lost friends by Wise Dev, and he has beautifully encapsulated them as Dear X and Dear Y. And it goes like I lifted my pen on a lonely night. I had a lot on my chest as I began to write. Dear X and Dear Y, I hope you are all right. Please listen to me as I narrate with delight. Some years that seem so close yet are so far. The vault of memories is now ajar. I'm really sorry for the interruption, but I feel that the vault of memories is a perfect way to describe the collection of your memories, right? Because we usually keep important and precious things in vaults, right? And I don't think anything is more important than memories, because that is what we have. Some years that seem so close yet are so far. The vault of memories is now ajar. I wonder if we'll ever experience something on par. We are never going to experience something on par, I can assure you. I guess we all know that. I wonder if we'll ever experience something on par with the adventures we had under that sky filled with stars. Remember that time we went on a trip to the hillsides and the village on the mountain edge? Ice apples and tender coconut. Come, take a sip, called out the villager sitting on his ledge. I feel a few days back, we were talking about dragons in the group, right? In the lounge, we were talking about dragons. We were talking about how various cultures have brought their own interpretations of dragons, right? And we were talking about how this could have started in the first place, right? How people who are living on different parts of the massive lands which we are known as continents, they created their own version of a serpentine creature who could be malevolent or benevolent, right? But still, at the end of the day, it was a serpentine creature. So what is the commonality that two civilizations at least living not across the ocean but across the ocean of time as well, right? Because we were talking about, so we can talk about the Aztec civilization, the Mayans, right? Who were a part of the Southern American Inca community. And then we can go back to the, one of the earliest civilizations we know about, the Sumerians, right? So Sumerians had their own dragons in their myths. The Aztecs had their own dragon gods. So we can see that, throughout the, not only across continents but across the ocean of time, different civilizations had dragons in their mythology in one way or the other. So there is some sort of a commonality, some common origin of dragons being in a myth. And at the same time, the first para of Wise's poem ends with the adventures we had under that sky filled with stars. I can assure you, I can probably vouch for everyone who's present here. All of us, when we think about our childhood, we definitely think about a sky filled with stars, right? We all have spent some time under the night sky, which was filled with stars. Maybe we cannot see this nowadays because of light pollution or something, right? Or maybe we don't give a single damn about the night sky anymore. Who knows? But the point is that I do, but I'm pretty sure many of you do. But still, just like that dragon thing, the sky filled with stars has been a part of our childhood, no matter where we are coming from. There are 14 people, 13 people in this meeting right now, and all of us have different backgrounds, different families. I hope none of you are connected or related, but all of us have spent some time under a sky filled with stars, right? A proper black sky which has been embedded by gem like stars, right? खुले आसमान के नीचे सोते हुए जैसा लगता है, आदर्श has said, खुले आसमान के नीचे सोते हुए जैसा लगता है गांव में वो बात कहीं नहीं, except in mountains, if I ever get to sleep there. Absolutely, absolutely. If you are coming from a rural area, and if you have been fortunate enough to spend a night outside the building, outside your home, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. I can see that Swan is saying that we are a family. We are a family. सुबह आँख भी अपने आप खुल जाती है उससे बताना. Okay, okay, he's talking about sleeping outside, and indeed, Satyaka is a family Swan. You are totally right. You are totally right. Wise is saying, okay, so Wise has said something, but we'll again go on to what Wise has said at the end because this is his piece. So we'll again just go through the thing and talk about it in the middle. Okay, just like we were talking about the sky filled with stars. Meanwhile, guys, if you have anything to say about the sky filled with stars, you can definitely use the chat box. Okay, or you can turn your mic on, or if you would like to point out on something else that he has written and you can connect to it, you can very well do the same for it. Okay, so yeah, and then of course talking about ice apples and tender coconuts, which are along the same lines of chaat and probably butta corn, right, and all those things. And today we probably have the monetary luxury to buy stuff that we want to buy, but back then money was also limited, right? When we were little kids, we were not provided a lot of money at once, right? So we had to be really really diplomatic about our own money back when we were little kids, and we could only buy probably one ice apple or probably one, and tender coconuts were luxury, because I can properly remember that tender coconuts have always been costly. Nowadays they are really costly, but tender coconuts were not cheap at any point of time, at least from my childhood. And to be diplomatic about your money back in those days, because you never had a lot of money, right? That is also a part of childhood. That, like, I feel relative poverty is a part of childhood, and probably the lack of money and resources is what makes it more beautiful, right? Remember that time when we climbed a hill, we all just pulled through on pure sheer will. And a lot can be interpreted from these two lines, right? When we were kids, we had a lot of willpower. We never gave up on things, right? I mean, if you think about it, when we were wee little kids, if you were studying for exams the night before the exam, you remember you would give a lot to it. You would definitely give a lot to it. It's not like nowadays, when if you're studying a night before the exam, you're like, screw it, I'll probably just pass, or even if I get failed, it's fine, I'll do better next time and all. So I think we had more willpower back when we were kids, right? Climbing a hill out of just pure sheer will, right? The feeling when we touched the summit tree, we were filled with joy and an overflowing glee. A very simple line. See, these four lines in the third stanza, technically the fourth stanza, they are filled with simple words. He has not done a lot of wordplay, right? He's not flexing his vocabulary. Yet, he has said a very beautiful thing, a thing that should, that is a part of everyone's legacy, right? Yet, it is said in a very simple manner. And I can see in the chat box, I'll skip what Wise has written for now, because we will read that at the end. Yeah. So after Wise, Swan has said, "चिड़ियों की आवाज से." Absolutely, Swan. That is what you were meaning. अपने आप सही समय पर नींद खुलती है. That is also true if you do that. Fresh hawa, definitely. Sleeping outside, you will definitely get fresh hawa. A sky full of stars, Coldplay, Satman. Okay. Adarsh is saying man ki baat chilli. Okay. Bhadra is saying, what? I thought they were cheap. No, Bhadra. Tender coconuts were never cheap. Maybe they are cheap in Kerala. I'm not sure. Maybe because you have a lot of coconut trees. So maybe it could be cheap at Kerala. But in other parts of India, tender coconuts were never cheap. They were never. But of course, they are delicious. Adarsh is talking about Harek chocolate, Imli candy, salted amrus candy. Oh my goodness, I'm salivating. I think all of us have at least one khatti meaty, or at least one tangy candy from our childhood that we crave for, right?
वो 2 पाउच में आता था, उसको अलग-अलग निकाल के सही क्वांटिटी में मिक्स करना पड़ता है वो वाला।
That is some breaking bad level shit, bro.
एकदम
Recently, I visited IIT Gandhinagar and found those packets. Some company has now used that same thing, are selling those things in the campuses. I just bought it.
Arre, wait. You are lucky, man. You are lucky. You are lucky.
ये मैं खुद अभी 1 हफ्ते पहले
Hmm.
एक मतलब पुरानी गलियों में गुज़र रहा था ना ऐसे, जहाँ
Right,
छोटे-छोटे दुकान रहते हैं,
right,
ये
right.
एयरपोर्ट में ही।
Right.
वही वही सब दुकान देखा जहाँ से पहले लिया करता था, तो वही ग्लास की बर्नी लाइन से रखे हुए हैं।
Mm-hmm.
मैं नहीं गया, लेकिन जाऊंगा किस दिन। वही वही
Mm-hmm.
प्रोडक्ट बेचते रहते हैं ना वो लोग।
Ah, right, 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 right.
वो आम फिर और अलग अलग जितने हैं।
It is, you know, like as Abhinit said, when you get to see, and as Adarsh also mentioned, that when you get to see these candies from your childhood, they are, they bring back so many memories. You know, like when I go to the exam center, there's a shop over there which has this arm papad, salted arm papad, okay, but packaged. So I always make sure that I buy a lot of them, and yeah, I'm a sucker for tangy things, and yeah. Others mentioned Imli candy, and I'm already salivating. Let me have some water. Otherwise, I might end up embarrassing myself.
ये वैसे ही टॉपिक जो है इसका फुल ऑफ स्टार्स चल रहा है, इस
हम्म,
पे एक छोटा सा शेयर करता हूँ स्टोरी।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
तब पता नहीं था 2006 की बात है या कब, उसमें ये सबसे बड़े वाले भैया की शादी थी, सब हम लोग छोटे थे। और
हम्म,
अब फोन, ये क्या पकड़े अभिनीत भाई, येलो
नहीं
कलर
नहीं,
का।
येलो कलर का क्या?
वही नाम भी बता दो।
Okay, okay, okay. The chat box image is talking about. Okay. Yeah, Adarsh, please continue your story. Yeah.
हम्म, हाँ। तो उस समय फोन भी ऐसे नहीं था लोगों के पास।
Mm-hmm.
कुछ भी फोन नहीं था, मतलब रेयरली किसी के पास फोन दिखे, वो भी जो ब्लैक एंड वाइट, ये येलो बैकलिट वाला नहीं आता था।
Mm-hmm.
तो अब उस समय कोई नेटवर्क नहीं, कुछ नहीं। शादी में पूरे कितने सारे गांव के लोग एक साथ एक घर में भरे हुए हैं, जगह ही नहीं रहती। लेकिन उस समय मेरे को छत में सोने का चांस मिला,
Okay.
बाकी भैया और अलग अलग दीदी ये सब के साथ।
Mm-hmm.
काफी कंजस्टेड था, और एकदम टूटा फूटा छत में ऐसे गद्दे बिछे हुए हैं और वहां
Mm-hmm.
सो रहे हैं। तो वो, मतलब वो ऐसा ना रिप्लेस नहीं कर पाया कुछ, जो अभी भी गांव में ऐसे खाट में सोने वाला एक्सपीरियंस भी वो रिप्लेस नहीं कर पाया।
Right, 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 right,
वो
right.
वो एक, मतलब अलग एहसास है ना, मतलब वो।
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree. इतने सारे रिलेटिव्स का एक साथ होना, every cousin coming together, working together, spending the whole day together, and I'm pretty sure a wedding environment has a different aura to it, and everyone working towards the same goal and sleeping together, telling stories, sharing things. It is an amazing feeling, definitely.
वही, ये चैट वजह से हिमांशु लिखा कि वी डू ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस, लेकिन वो एग्जैक्टली वो कंपेयर नहीं कर पाओगे, क्योंकि अभी लोगों को अपना फोन भी खेलना रहता है।
True that, true that, true that, true that.
और सब
पहले वो वाला
कोई अर्जेंसी
डिस्ट्रैक्शन
नहीं,
नहीं था।
खाना। हाँ, सबको खाना मिल गया है। अब अंधेरा हो चुका है, लाइट भी नहीं है, चले जाओ। ना फोन चार्ज का किसी को टेंशन है, ना कहीं जल्दी जाने का। बस सुबह उठ के जिसको काम करना है, बड़े लोग ही तो काम करेंगे ना, हम लोग को थोड़ी ना काम मिलेगा।
Right, 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 right. That is true. That is true. That is indeed a very beautiful anecdote, Adarsh. A small one, but a sweet one nonetheless. And I think that is the beauty of childhood. We were talking about things and we could relate to many things that Wise has written. Like he talks about, remember the handmade chocolate we ate in the valley, filled with the market buzz and stalls on display, navigating the small and winding alley. By the way, do correct me if it is pronounced in some other way. I feel it is winding alley where a lot of wind is flowing through. I feel right because many a times alleyways are a good path for fluids to flow, and air is a fluid, right? So, mischievously bantering about where to go and play. Indeed, that was something we had to take a lot of time to take a decision, right? Kahan khele? Where should we go? Where should we play? Remember that time when the birds sat on my head, pecking your cheek with love, making you go red, feeding them with the coarse grains and crumbs of bread. Oh, all the emotions can't be just said. Absolutely, absolutely wise. We cannot pen down everything. It is beautiful. That realization itself. It is an irony that this realization that we are failing to explain it. It holds its own beauty. It is so beautiful that you cannot make it comprehensible to someone else perfectly, entirely. If someone is able to do it, they would be they have to be called a genius. Though the trip wasn't long and is now in the past, even as time goes and things move so fast, the memories we made will surely last. Thank you for listening to me explain all that my heart had been yearning to share. Dear X and dear Y, I hope we'll meet again. Until then, stay safe and please take care. That is such a beautiful way. Oh my god, Wise, I was expecting something good, but the way you have come to full circle, the first line, Dear X, dear Y, I hope you're all right, and then again, Dear X and dear Y, I hope we'll meet again. And that is so true. We
एकदम
probably, yeah,
कंप्लीट
Dash.
लग रहा है वो.
Absolutely. It is a complete thing. It is indeed complete. And this guy was sweet enough to write Made with Love by Wise. That is so sweet. Thank you, Wise. This was a beautiful entry. One of the most beautiful things I've read in the recent times. So let
Shall I
us.
say something?
Yeah, I think someone is. Yeah, Badra, please go ahead.
While Vice was having all those experience with his friends, he might have just enjoyed those moments with his friends. He might have not thought about what would he think about it when he revisits the memory in future.
Absolutely.
He wasn't at all realizing that probably he was making memories that would last a lifetime, and such memories are the things that truly matter. No matter how much money or whatever material things we acquire over the years, such memories we have with our loved ones are the things that always stay, and those things are the ones anyone would like to look back upon once they progress in life.
Right. Right.
Life
That is
has
true.
described everything beautifully, captured the essence of everything in such a way that I felt myself going with him and his friends along the hills and seeing the things they saw. It was so beautiful.
You could visualize it, right?
Yes,
Hmm. See, wise, that is definitely something that you have earned with your writing. So that is what, I think this is why literature is important. I think, there are many people out there who mock and, who will be questioning someone's interest or affinity towards literature. But I think this is why uh, literature is important. The fact that, Bhadra, after a long day, she could, feel something sitting at home just by reading something that a friend has written. That is the importance of literature. And yeah. So now let's go ahead and see what Wise has written. Okay. Wise, wise, wise. Um, yeah. And once we are done with what Wise has said, then we'll move forward with the other entries in the chat box. Okay. Hello, Tanvi. Thank you for joining. Wise. Okay, let me see. I think other people have also joined. Hello, Bishek Bhai. Hello, Bishek Bhai. Yeah, sorry. Who else? Who else? Who else is
हेलो
joining?
सत्यकी। अरे
Hello,
भाई
भैया.
भाई बोलो भाई भाई बोलो।
मैंने ध्यान नहीं दिया. मैंने ध्यान नहीं दिया. Hello, Anusha.
नो इश्यू नो इश्यू ब्रदर।
Okay. Wait. Hello, Anusha. Thank you for joining. I'm really sorry, guys. I was on that page, so couldn't see. Hello, Tanvi. So let's see what Wise says about his work. Okay, just a second, guys. Yeah. So Wise has said the first thing that he has said is that Abhineet Bhai did get it perfectly. Yes, there's a highlight on exactly how it felt back then. And for those who have joined the meet later, Abhineet mentioned how he felt after we read the poem for the first time, and he was very articulate about it. Okay, and he said that so Abhineet has spent quite some time, considerable amount of time in Nainital amongst the hills, right? And he could actually relive his childhood, and he could relate to many things that are mentioned in Wise's work after we had read the thing. So Wise says that Abhineet Bhai did get it perfectly. Yes, there is a highlight on exactly how it felt back then. I think you can see the letterish start and end is the part of me yearning to meet my lost friends that I had this particular. Absolutely, absolutely. The way it starts, right? That I mean, dear X and dear Y. It starts with the fact that you are actually uh, you want to narrate this thing to them, right? This particular and then you end with a closure that I hope we'll meet again, and until then you stay alive, stay safe. Not alive, I mean stay safe and everything, right? So that is there. And not alive as in, if you're asking someone to stay safe, you want them to be alive, right? You cannot be dead and safe, right? Probably you can be, like, you don't want to violate a dead body, so that is a different meaning, right? Okay. So yeah, I think you can see. Okay, yeah. Of course, it has a letterish pattern to it. The food and delicacies, especially sweet things, are very unique to hillside places. Indeed, indeed. Have you ever tried them? I have. I had the fortune of trying a few mountainous sweets. I do, but they are, of course, a completely different experience from the norm. I'm pretty sure I second that. This might apply to any different place, but something that is frozen in both your memories and taste. That's a beautiful thing to say. Something, see, guys, he has written such a sweet thing, that something that is frozen both in your memories and taste buds. Of course, indeed. Then Swan says something about Chidiyo ki Awaaz, which we talked about because we were talking about sleeping outside. And then I think Wise has continued with his I think Wise has continued. Yeah, Wise has said something down the line. The cold, refreshing air. Hello, Sneha. Thank you for joining. The cool, refreshing air that kisses your breath in high places is something that is indeed memorable. And when you go through a strenuous experience together, especially with your close mates, it's also something that you cannot just forget. Absolutely, it's like a conquer, right? You have conquered something together. Like, obviously, as children, we were competitive and fired up for literally climbing a mountain for us. Absolutely, absolutely. I think the fact that we lost that sort of zeal, that sort of enthusiasm, that makes us, go down the curve when we grow up. Now let's see what others have talked about. Swan is saying cheap for the riches, Batra. Okay, he was talking about tender coconut. सब कुछ 3 से 5 रुपए में लेने का decision, money management at our peak. Absolutely, absolutely. I remember when I was in second grade. So if you guys know about this thing, there's this thing called Scout and Guide, right? Scouts and Guides. So I was in KV. So we had a very popular tradition of Scouts and Guides, right? And so we started. So I remember each year the Scouts and Guides would have a fete, fete, a fair, a mela, right, in the school premises. And of course, I was in second grade, so I was only given 5 rupees to spare. Okay, five. I think it was 5 rupees. Yes, I was given 5 rupees to spend because, see, I come from a very normal family, and when I was in second standard, my parents, of course, didn't trust me with money, right? So 5 rupees was all that I got. And I remember I bought popcorn for 5 rupees, and my friend got uh, this thing called Aladdin ka Chirag. I don't know if you guys know this, but it had some candies in it, and you could get little goodies like a small lamp or a small little car in it. Okay, and I was so jealous that, oh my god, I'm having bland popcorn, and that guy is enjoying those minty, fresh Aladdin ka Chirag candies, and he was playing with his toy car, which he found in the packet. So, money management indeed was something that we used to do, at least those who come from a middle class background and were, they didn't have a lot of money to spend. They definitely relied on money management back when they were kids as well. Pauline talks about also a shift in taste. Some things we didn't like back then, now our eyes shine on seeing them. Absolutely, absolutely. For example, giri, coconut. Yeah, true, 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 true. Back when I was a kid, I didn't like custard apple, but now I crave for it. That dal wali chaat. Yeah, yeah, that is true. I think when we grow up, our taste buds refine. They get refined with time. So maybe that is the thing. But it is indeed true. Uh, Adarsh is agreeing to it, right? And then Berlin says, I remember the money heist back in childhood. One of the only one I did, and me and my parents laugh on it now. Guys, let's be honest. I'm pretty sure we all have taken a rupee or two at least from some place we were not probably expected to take from. But it's okay. Back then we were kids. I'm glad that we then end up being kleptomaniacs, right? Or liabilities to the society. Swan is saying Santre Wali toffee. Absolutely. Santre Wali toffee. Legendary. Absolutely. That sweet wala hajmola. Indeed. Hajmola Emily. Doodh malai, kacham. Kacham, definitely. I'm not a very big fan of doodh malai, but kacham, super. Money heist. Berlin version. Masala matar. True that. True that. A lot of childhood snacks are coming back. Swan is saying, what is that, bhai? Abhinit bhai, what is that? That's cool. Candies. Okay. Himanshu, aho, swad, we do on a regular basis. And so, okay, it's about sleeping outside, right? Earlier, before, Himanshu says earlier before COVID, now I don't remember when all the cousins meet and talk so much in night. Yeah, true. COVID has changed a lot of things. Wise is saying not flexing on vocabulary. This came straight from the heart. Yeah, bro, absolutely. It is so simple. It is coming from heart, and you're talking about things which are of utmost importance. And it is said that mostly important things are very simple in nature. And
He,
yeah,
I think he was
Ganesh.
talking about the word winding. It was message from that time.
No, I think he was talking about.
The,
I thought it
the
was.
whole poem, you
Uh,
mean, right?
I felt he was talking about that pure sheer will wala part. For when I said four lines without any vocabulary wala flex, but simple yet legendary lines. I think I could be wrong though. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think he wrote the message when you were talking about that winding or winding. I don't know.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah,
Only
yeah. Even I'm
if
not sure
only
because
if only he would he could turn
yeah,
on his mic and
wise,
clarify.
absolutely wise. Could you kindly clarify? I'm not sure if he would be able to turn his mic on, but use the chat box, buddy. Use the chat box. I can see Shadow has given a heart. Others is saying cool. Berlin is saying beautiful indeed. Swan is saying, oh, that sounds sweet. The voice, yeah. I think that is the part when Bhadra was speaking. Don't get fooled by the voice. She's a gangster. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Bhadra is badass. And Tanvi then joined using her IIT account. Swan said, okay, Shadow, will remember, but the voice was indeed, the voice was sweet. Bhadra has given two hearts. Tanvi says hi. Bhadra says thanks, Sona Bhai. Anusha says hi. And Swan said hello, Abhishek sir. Abhishek Bhai said hello, Swan. And there are a lot of exchanges, lot of greetings. Oh my God, kill yourself. Reasoning is too poor. Reasoning is too poor. Shadow, why? Why do you think that? Uh, Someone has greeted Snehaji. Yo, Snehaji, welcome, welcome. Sneha has said, Shukriya, Shukriya. आज बहुत लोग आ गए and that is fun. That is fun. The voice is breaking on my side. Okay. Guys, am I audible? Like, am I sounding strange or something? Do let me know, okay? Uh, Sneha says, yeah, I'm seeing new people. Hello, everyone. And Mosam is already here today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, see, even Rohit is saying that आप रुक रुक कर बोल रहे हो या मेरा network कमजोर है. Guys, do let me know if my network is messed up. Mm-mm-mm. Berlin is saying my parents gave themselves. That is nice. They just don't know how I spent it. Okay, okay. It seems okay. Berlin is from Punjab. Let's guess how she spent it. Rohit says, थोड़ा सा context मिलेगा भैया. Berlin said, we are talking about things we did back in childhood. Rohit said, oh, I was waiting for Badra's jail story. Wise then said, glad that you all could connect with my piece, and I hope you all enjoyed it. We surely did. Surely did. Ah, no, that was reply to Satyaki's comment. Yes. Okay. I meant winding as okay, not windy. Okay, okay, right, right. Okay. स्नेहा इस रोहित सिंह स्नेहा जी को देखकर भैया भी शॉक हो गए. Shadow saying the part where you said alive and were reasoning for one needs to be alive to be good or something. No, no. See, what I was saying is that first I was saying that one has to be alive to be safe, but then I realized no. To safety has different meanings at different terms at different levels, right? You have to like you can keep a dead body safe. Probably you don't want the dead. Suppose your best friend dies, okay, and you are taking the body from point A to point B, but that particular transition, that branch is infested with cannibals or something, right? Now you want to save your friend's body from getting chewed on or eaten by a bunch of cannibals, right? So in that way you are trying to keep a dead body safe. So it is not necessary that one has to be alive to stay safe. Safety can have different meanings, right? So that is definitely a good reasoning, I feel. Berlin is saying it's nice to have everyone here. If you are still missing, yeah, indeed. Octi is saying hi, Satman. Oh, Octi is back. I thought Octi was there since the beginning because I remember I had typed hi, Octi. Okay, Octi regenerates, no problem. Then we said what? No need to be alive to be. Oh yeah. So basically, then we were talking. So we were talking about the fact that safety has different meanings on different levels, right? So a person can be kept safe if they are alive, but also a dead body can be kept safe if they are dead. I mean, a dead body is dead, right? That is why we are calling it dead body. ये कौन सा तरीका है ट्रॉमेटाइज करने का, मतलब अपने दोस्त के लाश को खाते देखना. Okay, fine. If you don't want to think about your friend, maybe about okay, fine, maybe your boyfriend or girlfriend, right? That could be a thing. Because see, you will be saving a dead body only if they are close to you, right? You won't be giving a single damn about a dead body which is strange to you, right? That is why dead bodies are found rotten and bloated, right? Because nobody gave a damn about it. Shrikar is saying, I went kind of having problems with the program. Okay, okay, brother. Body safe, person not safe. Yeah, I mean, a dead person doesn't have to be safe because they are dead, but the body can be kept safe. At the same time, when you're keeping a living person safe, you are not only keeping the person safe, but you're also keeping the body safe, right? Because by keeping the body safe, consequently, you're keeping the person safe as well.
I have a question though.
Yeah, please go ahead.
How would a body be safe if the person is sick? You can't allow, there are too many variables. Like a person might be hurt, injured, but not dead yet. So the
We are
person is
talking about
alive.
I think we are specifically talking about like something death-inducing injury, maybe.
Death inducing injury. Let's say a person, let's say in cases like, being thrown in cellular jail, a
Hmm.
person is forced to stay alive. you know. They keep
Yeah.
torturing them, they keep torturing them, like psychopaths, for example. Uh, they torture their victims to keep them alive for longer. They would wish for
Yeah.
death, but
That is actually true. Yeah.
they would, that means, is the person safe? Not really. But is their body safe? That also you cannot tell. So it's like, we can't really ensure that body safety equals person safety, or being alive is always the good option. We can never know.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. That is actually a good point. So I feel that, so when we are talking about torture, so I guess we can put it in this way that if someone is being thrown in the jail and then eventually they are gradually tortured and they are brought closer to the death, maybe let's not talk about that. We will probably consider the cases where it is like quick death, like suppose uh, bludgeoning someone's head with a baseball bat, right? Just bash, if you bash it in, and they die. So at that point, safety was not there, right? What you said
I
is
mean,
true.
if something happens to the body, then automatically the person is not safe, because
Yeah,
your body is where you stay alive in. So
exactly,
if that is not in a good condition, then you're gone.
exactly.
So
That is the point. Yeah.
even if the body is kept like fully fresh, very good, but then the person is dead, and what's the meaning of having a body safe? Like Ted Bundy did, keep the body parts in formaldehyde and all. It's safe. I mean, that's not safe. If the person is alive and healthy, that is safe.
No, but suppose a loved one dies, and you don't now. If you are in a place where probably mad, crazy, rabid dogs are there, and they want to eat the flesh, right? So you would try to keep the dead body safe, right? That is what it is. That is why it is a crime to dig up dead bodies from a graveyard.
That is
Right?
true. It's more like a uh, contextual aspect when you take civilized society, because in general human, how we have evolved is we respect the dead.
Yeah,
So
we do. Yeah, but at the same
everyone,
time, we don't want our loved ones' cadaver to be to be someone's food, right?
yeah, I mean, in general, all over the world, human societies, except the very rare tribes of who practice
Hmm.
cannibalism, in
Right.
general, humans all over the world respect the dead. Either
Yeah.
we bury them or we cremate them. Some or the other way, we don't want to see the body, you know, uh, you know,
Desecrated.
get all. Yeah, exactly. We don't want to witness that happening to the body. So
Right.
we either bury it under the earth or we cremate it so that it's all gone and we don't see anything. So,
Speaking. Yeah. Yeah. Please continue.
I mean, but the body being torn to pieces, I'll give you an example. I don't know if you're aware.
Hmm.
Actual practice of this is still in place, but I don't know how many of them are still doing it. Have you heard of towers of silence?
Yes. Yes. Tower of
Yes,
Silence. Yes. The Parsi
yes,
Tower of Silence. Yeah.
exactly. So that's where people throw their dead bodies so
Yeah. For
the
the
vultures
vultures to
can.
eat. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So they,
Yeah.
they willingly do it. They willingly let that happen to their bodies. So that's a part of their faith.
I
So
think that is a good point. I think
yeah,
Tanvi actually made a good point that saving a dead body is actually subjective, like more subjective compared to saving a living person. Because she gave an example of the Parsi Tower of Silence. And those of you who are aware of how this thing works, you would know that the vultures are fed over there, right? But once the person is dead, they are dead. They are food for nature, right? That is actually a holistic approach, absolutely, right? And
it's because that the body is not the person. The body is just a mere vessel for the person.
right.
If the person is no longer alive, it's just a mass of cells. It would just disintegrate. So we can never see the body as a person because that's just a body.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, all of us might have seen it in one way or the other that once a person dies in a hospital, the doctors won't be saying, they will be like, oh, you can take the body now. They don't call it your father or your husband or something, right? You can take the body. So that is indeed a good point, and there are actually certain. Do correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Shadow, quote me on that. Okay, do correct me if I'm wrong, but there are certain tribes in Peru or in towards the that Latin American frontier where uh, there's this thing called Day of the Dead, and they actually bring out their dead relatives from their crypts, and they dress them up in new clothes and everything, and they make them sit. Of course, they are decomposed skeletons now, and they are made to sit with them, and they take photos and everything. So yeah, I guess safety for the dead is much more subjective than safety for the living, right? So yeah, that is indeed a good example. So I can see that a lot of comments in the chat box. Uh, where is this meet going now? Definitely something enlightening. Uh, Wise says, guys, I just want my friends to stay safe. How did we go to? Because all of us are going to be dead bodies at some point, right? So, yeah, don't worry. Shadow is laughing. Not the weirdest transition yet, absolutely. Shrika is saying, the direction of meat can change into anything when Tanvi detox. Definitely. Tanvi is exotic. Rohit is saying, agenda of today's meeting: killing your own friends and feed their bodies to some cannibals. That could be a very pious thing to do in some tribes. You never know. Berlin says, now Satman got to talk about it. Talk about it every meet. Didn't understand, bro. Anusha says, last time I joined, it was a Henry Cavill. Okay, I think Devansh wants to join. Last time I joined, it was a Henry Cavill sim session. Now it's torture and dead body safety. You should, you two should seriously start a podcast. We can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. Yeah, the previous one on the crush thing is the weirdest one. Hey, come on, Henry Cavill is a god. Same question wise, after the wholesome story, what are we leading to as something enlightening? Satyaki stress on the context. Right. My bad. I guess we all went a little bit haywire on it. I can see that Berlin talks about, reminds me of Aisha Di when we talked about how humans are so capable and can truly become demons beyond imagination. That's why Jains believe moksha can be attained by eating less. I might be missing here and there, but you get the point. Even Buddhists practice it, I guess. I've heard of this happening in Tibet. Yeah, Tibet maybe they do it. Yeah, not only South American, some African tribes practice these rituals. Yeah, that could be the case. Since we went totally away from the topic, and no, actually, we did not. We actually derived a new topic from your poem, brother. So definitely, not totally away. It is a derived thing. Here's another old short poem from yours truly to end on a more wholesome note. Okay, and Wise has written this poem titled Love at First Sight. I fell in love at first sight, everything felt just right. Once I had seen, there was no looking back, the elegance and poise exuding in black. I had made up my mind, I'll put the bygones behind. Oh, I remember this one. You are the one for me, I knew. Her name was Helvetica New. So if you guys know what Helvetica New is, you are definitely going to love it. And if you don't know, Google it. It's really funny. And indeed, once you see that, you might fall in love. Balini is saying, I don't know, bro. It doesn't matter where we start. Cannibalism is 98% where I am. Center of Satman's universe is cannibalism. Maybe a part of it. Maybe a part of it. Someone said love. I'm back. Font. Yes, indeed, Swan. Font. Balin saying, not gonna lie, when I started talking a little in the session, I talked about cannibalism as well. Absolutely, you know that. The football team story, exactly, guys. There's a famous plane crash that led to forced cannibalism, right? So, yeah. Tanvi Singh, what Jain Buddhist practices you are referring to, Berlin, and how how exactly can this be seen as humans turning into demons? Okay, that is an interesting thing. Maybe that can be discussed in the lounge, guys. Okay, that could be a good thing in the lounge. Most of the times in lounge, we we indulge in things which can be called brain rot, but this can be an enlightening thing. Okay? Eat less and lead to moksha. Okay. Why is this saying shadow? Yes. What do you expect from an eldritch horror? Thank you. I'll take that as as a compliment. We'll elaborate and announce Tanvidi. Thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Okay, thank you very much, Wise, for this lovely, lovely, lovely poem. Okay, and we did discuss about it in a very deep manner. Okay, we sort of derived a few funny things from it as well about how safe a person is based on their status as living or not living, right? Himanshu is saying, good night, people. Hope your friends don't eat you and your mind. Okay, good night to Himanshu. Good night. Everyone bid good night to Himanshu and he's gone. Okay. So, yeah. Thank you very much, Wise, for this lovely poem. And as I mentioned, soon, now that I'm retired from Sahityaka and the only thing that I do is reading sessions, maybe we can start some frequent sessions and we can read, apart from the books that we read, we can also read the work that is being done by you people on a regular basis. We can read it on a separate meeting. Okay, those will be reading sessions as well, but maybe we can call them something else. It will be probably the newest entry in Sahityaka's array of. I have already retired. I don't hold a POR anymore. So yeah, I'm just here having fun. Thank you. No, you don't have to thank us. Thank you for sharing this beautiful piece. Okay. So I'll be stopping the recording now and we'll be moving forward with Salem's Lot, guys.